Hey everybody, don't be left out in the cold. Make sure you do your open enrollments and don't forget about enrolling in those STDs. Okay, I got some of you guys there. We're not talking about sexually transmitted diseases. We are talking about short-term disability. So stay tuned. We have an interesting tea time tonight. We're going to talk all about it. It's open enrollment season, so all of you all should be doing your enrollments, and I'm here to help you make those good, educated decisions on what you're going to choose for your 2023. So welcome to Tea Time and Insurance Tips. I am Sybil Green Padilla. I am here every week to provide you wonderful information. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I'm also a broker, owner of Green Insurance Solutions, and I wanted to provide a platform where you can get need-to-knows, fun facts about the world of insurance. Insurance is a really intimidating conversation, pretty dull. And intimidating, and can be pretty complicated. So I wanted to provide a platform where we can just kind of talk over a cup of tea about some things that you might need to know to help make right decisions, educated decisions for you and your family is regarding your insurance, okay? So as always, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're finding any of my videos to be valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps me out, helps me keep them pumping it out. And also, too, leave me some comments, some questions, some things that you'd like me to talk about. I'll be happy to do that as well. Okay, but let's get right into it. I hope you have your cup of tea. I have green tea, which is one of my favorites. Hope you're drinking something good. So let's take our sip and let's get right into it, okay? Yum, yum. Okay, so before we get into, I do want to put a couple of disclaimers out here, okay? So number one, I'm going to be talking to you in general about short-term and long-term disability and why it's so important to have that in your elections this year. But every company is different. Every company does not choose the same company for their employees. So you want to make sure you ask the questions. Talk to an enrollment specialist about what your company is offering you. I'm just giving you general information. Again, every company is different. They have different elimination periods. They have different rules, regulations for part-time, full-time, all of those things. But I do want to leave you some general information that's pretty general about disability coverage and how important it is. It is fall time. And as you see, I have on a little covering because it's a little chilly. You want to make sure you are covered. You're protecting your family. You're covering up your family so they don't be left out in the cold and not having this, because this is going to replace your income when you're out on disability. Okay, so those are my two disclaimers. Every company is different. And also, too, my second disclaimer is make sure you don't go in and just check online and check everything off the same thing you had last year. Needs change every year. Some people have children, their health changes. If nothing's changed in your life, your employer might have changed some of their, benefits. I've been doing elections or enrollments for about 5 years now. I love enrollment season time. I love talking to employees and educating them on their employer's benefits. I love doing that. I'm going to be doing it more, but I love doing that because I can tell you, I don't know how many employees I've talked to that have just check, go online and do it. They don't have time to speak to us, the enrollment specialists, and they end up losing out a lot of benefits that would have benefited them and their family financially. But because of lack of knowledge, they just, choose what they normally do. They missed out. I've had a lot of employees come back and say, man, I didn't know the employer was offering that. That's very helpful, or I need that. So take the time. Your employer has really took the time out, spent a lot of money to offer some good coverage, some good benefits for you. So take advantage of it as an employee. They're there for you. Yes, you do have deductions coming out of your paycheck, but I promise you those deductions will be far less than what it would cost if you don't have it, if you had an injury or you had an accident or you had a sickness that you couldn't work. So you want to, weigh weigh and measure, okay? Pros and cons, okay? Yes, it's money out. We have to pay for our premiums, but you guys have group coverage. Those premiums are very affordable, much more affordable than, say, an entrepreneur or self-employed person who would be trying to get disability coverage. So tonight, that'll be another video. I can talk about self-employed disability availability, but for now, this is employee. It's open enrollment season. You should be going through your enrollments all the way till probably November. So all this month, I'm talking about health enrollments for 2023. So tonight is short-term disability. So those disclaimers are, make sure you just set an appointment to talk to the benefit enrollment specialist. We're there to help you make the right decisions. We're there for you to ask questions. So it takes usually about 30 minutes, and talk to them and let them educate you on what all your employer is offering you, okay? That was the second disclaimer. All right, so let's talk about disabilities. You know, disabilities are when you're disabled, you're unable to come to work, you're able to perform your job, you're out of work. So that means that when you're out of work, you're out of income, you're out of pay because you're not at work. Disability can come in the form of an injury. You're out shooting basketball, playing pickleball. I got to get into that. I've been hearing so many great things about the pickleball. You might have injured yourself doing that, your arm, your wrist, your back, or you've had a sickness, heart attack, stroke, and you're out, and the doctor says you're going to be out for a while. Then that's what's going to qualify you for short-term disability. Short-term disability is just what it says. It's for short-term, usually 3 to 6 months. Sometimes, again, every company is different. Every employer will be offering something different, but on the average, 3 to 6 months. Long-term disability is usually 6 to 12 months, and then there's some companies that long-term disability doesn't start until a year to 2 years, okay? So 12 to 24 months. So again, it depends on what your employer is offering you. Again, talk to the enrollment or benefits counselor for that information. So short-term disability is for a short time. All of short-term disabilities usually have an elimination period, which means there's going to be a time frame that you'll have to be out before the short-term disability will kick in. Elimination period, some call them waiting periods, but just a time that you'll have to be. Mostly of them are 14 days. Again, every employer is different, but mostly they come in 14 days. So you have to be out 2 weeks. So you can't be out for a day or two with a cold, or you scratched your leg up, bruised your leg up. You could still come to work, or say you have a cold and you have to be out, or the flu, and you have to be out for either 3 or 4 days. This would not apply to you. You couldn't apply for short-term disability. Yeah, you're out of work, but it's not going to be longer than two weeks or longer. So you wouldn't qualify for this. That is when you use your PTO, your paid time off. You can use that. Some employers offer sick time and paid time off. So that is the time to use your paid time off. You're off 2 or 3 days. You know, you can get your full paycheck with sick time or paid time off with your PTO. Okay, but this is for, you have to be going to be out for at least 2 weeks or longer. Then your short-term disability is going to kick in. Now, some employers have it to where you have to use you must use all of your sick time and your PTO time before you can even use your short-term disability. So you really want to make sure you check on that, because every employer is different. Some employers require that. But some employers you have to be ill or injured for 2 weeks, and then they'll let you use it. But some of them, again, they want you to use your PTO time first and your sick time first before you can go into your short-term disability. And that probably would be a good idea, because short-term disability is not going to pay your full 100%. Now, if you get paid time off or sick time leave, they pay the 100%. But say you don't have any more days left, you can use your short-term disability, but you will only get 50 to 70% of your pay. Now, I gave a range of 50 to 70% because, again, every employer is different, okay? The most common I've seen is 60 to 70%. I haven't seen too many that just only offer 50%. Most of them offer you 60 to 70% of your income. So that means that you're only going to be getting 60 to 70% of what you normally get. So there's going to be some shortages there. That is why you definitely want to take advantage of your short-term disability. Also, the supplemental plans that I talked about a few weeks ago on my last podcast, those supplemental plans are going to be awesome in addition with your short-term disability to help get your income up to 100%, because all of those supplemental plans I talked about last week, hospital, accidental, critical illness, all of those things actually pay you money, not the hospitals or the doctors. So you can actually take that money, add it with the short-term disability, 60, 70% payout, and you pretty much will get, what you need to kind of cover your bills as normal. Now, of course, there's always prerequisites to all of this. There's guidelines, there's rules on that. You want to talk to your advisor on that. I could definitely not go into that in this 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but you definitely want to look into that. So on and off the job injuries or illnesses. A lot of times they only offer on the job. Most employers offer off the job injuries, and sickness would also be qualified for that. So make sure you talk to your benefits enrollment specialist, get all of the details that's going to be there for you. Usually there's no pre-existing conditions. They don't cover that until usually maybe 6 months or a year you've had the policy, then they'll cover. These are conditions you've had before you were hired or before you started working for your employer. Pregnancy is going to be part of short-term disability. So if you planning on having a family, this would be a great thing to have while you're out on maternity leave. You can also have your short-term disability. Again, talk to your benefits enrollment specialist to see how that applies to you at your job. So I hope this information helped. Just a few nuggets. Long-term disability, that kicks in again after you've been through the short-term period. You still have to be out. You can apply for the long-term disability. Most employers pay for long-term disability, so that's a win-win. But again, check with your employer. So I hope that helped. Remember to get your STDs. Not sexually transmitted diseases, but get your short-term disability for your 2023 year. It's going to be very helpful for you, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe if you find any value in these videos. And I will see you next week on Tuesday, Tea Time and Insurance Tips, okay? Bye-bye.